Well, I'll tell you, he's always successful, and that's our friend Tom Murphy, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, who now joins us via the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Tom, good morning, man. We are 2 days out finally from football. It sounds like Sam Pittman's got a pretty healthy roster for this upcoming game. David Oakey's going to be out. Heard from him in the teleconference yesterday. Xavier Sorey and Raylan Sharp sound like they're good to go. What are you expecting? I know you've been really high on Raylan Sharp. C.J. Brown listed as a starter. Kind of what are you looking from him in this first game against Alabama A&M?
Yeah, you're too kind with that introduction, Ty, but I do appreciate it. I expect Raylan to still have a good year, but maybe this speaks to that they have a group of receivers that they're going to trust and think will be productive with Talon. Clearly, Raylan knows the offense well from having played it at Missouri State for Bobby Petrino, and he built up I don't know if this level of trust, I think, with Talon by his work in the spring and all through the summer, and so he's going to get his opportunities. I think CJ will play some slot and some wide, and just kind of be in probably about a 7-man rotation or so.
You mentioned CJ. I was gone a little bit last week, so I missed this. I did know that CJ's father passed away. He was on the coach's show last night. I know both him and Cam Ball, who have recently lost their dads, are going to wear a commemorative patch. We saw Cam at SEC Media Days, Tom, just like you did. I know that this season's going to be emotional for him as well as CJ. What do you think it's going to be like for them heading into this first game on Saturday without guys they've looked up to their entire lives?
Yeah, it's really tough when you're in your 20s and you lose your father.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cam, paid a huge tribute to his dad in Atlanta. And, kind of credits his grilling proclivities to his dad. And that, so he's going to honor him. And I just thought it wasn't a huge move, but it was a substantial move in that Sam Pittman, when he heard that the Brown family was asking what time were they going to scrimmage on Saturday, and he goes like, "Don't worry about that. You set the services for Carson Brown whenever. We're going to move our mock game to Friday night." To me, that speaks volumes about his respect, and I think that's the kind of thing that is very meaningful for a team that he made that move.
Yeah, Tom, Saturday should have great weather. I think the weather's worth 10,000 more fans. And maybe I'm overstating that, but I think if the forecast all week had been for hot sun and 100-degree temperatures, I think a lot of people would have foregone the game. I think this great weather is going to put the crowd somewhere in the mid-60s.
That's a great point. As opposed to, these Little Rock openers recently have been really hot, and there's been, some issues with the getting water and things like that. So I do believe that having it on campus is more conducive to a bigger crowd, and I really agree with you that I think it will lead to more people saying, hey, I can go out and sit in this a lot easier than if it was in the 90s, because I remember some openers in recent years there were 3:15 or some second games that were really hot. Southern Miss years ago comes to mind, just a really hot day, and the kickoff was around 3. So, and I also heard that about 70,000 tickets were sold. So I know not all those tickets are going to be used, but if it's 60,000 plus, that's a step up from recent years.
Man, I think also what it'll do is keep a crowd in the building in the second half if the game gets lopsided. I mean, if it's hot and you're uncomfortable and the Arkansas's up, by a good margin in a game of this nature, I think you're more apt to go back to the tailgate or to get in the air conditioning in the car. So maybe this will keep the crowd in there. So, hey, one thing people – go ahead.
No, that's just a great point. I mean, think of last year when they were ahead 49-0 at halftime, and then scored on every possession. It was a blistering day. Yeah, it's a different thing.
I mean, all the students left at halftime to go study. I mean, they all went to the library at halftime. So
hey, syllabus week is tough, Tommy. Come on, man. Syllabus week is tough. Hurts us all.
So, hey, Tom, people made a big deal. I say it's been a media conversation about Bobby Petrino being up in the box, but at the same time, there's nothing listed for the defensive side to be on the up in the booth. Is that a conversation people are avoiding or not recognizing? On the game notes, there's no defensive coaches in the press box.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, people pay a lot of attention to it. It's that time of year where you haven't played any games yet, and then this is a change from what had been before. And then Sam, of course, explained it pretty well on yesterday's SEC webinar about that Bobby Petrino came to him. He's more comfortable in the booth, that he and Taylor's relationship and trust now is such that he doesn't feel like he has to be right there on the sideline. I want to say, and I did write about this today, that all 4 defensive coaches were listed as being on the field, but I want to say that Travis Williams and Marcus Woodson might have swapped around being on the box and on the field last year. That's my best recollection, that it wasn't a uniform deal all season long. But apparently both guys we know Travis Williams prefers to be on the field. Although he talked about when he's in the box, he gets really emotional after big plays or if something bad happens and he's emotional, and that he can better control himself. And the players maybe not see the immediate reaction as badly if he's in the booth. But I think it's more his personality and nature to want to be on the sideline and be expressive, because I think he feels he can give the team some energy. And Marcus Woodson, I think, has expressed more preference to be on the field. So I guess it's going to be GA's. We'll dig more into that in the next day or two, and obviously be reporting on what it looks like on game day by Saturday.
Tom Murphy with us, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Tom, before we came on, we were talking about Drake Lindsey, his first start for Minnesota tonight against Buffalo. You've also got Missouri taking on UCA. I know that's an SEC school you'll play, another school in state. It sounds like Missouri's going to be playing 2 quarterbacks in this one. Kind of what's your interest level in the game tonight, and just kind of your overall thoughts of Missouri this football season?
Right. I was reading Sam Lane's preview of the game. It's UCA up there, obviously. And so there'll be a purple team going at it up in Mizzou. But, he wrote that both teams were probably going to rotate their quarterbacks in some fashion, and that Eli has pretty much committed to Horn in the first half. And, the other guy, the transfer. Prabula. In the first half, and then Horn in the second. So it's a different way to do it, but it's a way he thinks gives them each the understanding of when they're going to be in the game. And so, it's going to be fun to watch. And I was not aware that Minnesota was playing tonight until I heard it right before I came on the air. So 2 games to pay attention to. Basically, after watching the game in Ireland last week, I'm like, there's got to be some other games. And it wasn't a big menu. UNLV and Idaho State, which turned out to be a good game, but I didn't really watch that. I just there's nothing. I watched a little of Stanford and Hawaii, but not riveting my interest. This is more going to be riveting my interest, and then obviously it's going to be a real big fun weekend.
All right, so your work schedule, you'll probably get to the Razorback Stadium 2 or 3 hours before. You got your pregame stuff you got to do. Obviously, you got your riding after. All right, what's the game you're going to be maybe on your laptop or you're keeping an eye on in the press box? The most interesting, intriguing SEC game outside the one in Fayetteville to Tom Murphy.
Man, this is such a huge slate. Obviously, everyone in the country will be paying attention to Ohio State hosting Texas. It's so weird that the preseason number 1 team that has the best odds to win the championship is playing at the defending champion who just beat them at the end of last season. And I know Ohio State's changing quarterbacks and lost a lot of personnel, but they're at home, man. I see Texas as having to really, really play a fine game to win that one. But that's huge. Obviously, Bama at Florida State is a big, big, big deal. Is Florida State going to be any semblance of being back this season after just a calamity of last year? And then LSU, the night game, I think, against Clemson, obviously also a big, big deal. There's a lot of others, but those are the highlights.
Yeah, and I think 17 games tonight. Tonight's going to maybe be better than last Saturday for some, even though that Kansas State-Iowa State game was fun. But you've got Thursday night. You got games on Friday with Auburn playing Baylor. Saturday's, of course, a full day. Saturdays we got like a 5-day buffet here, Tom, of really good college football before the NFL begins and starts eating up some of the weekend.
Exactly, and everyone will be riveted on college football. And to me, the best weekend until we get to the playoff and the bowl season, when there's a whole lot of action going on. So, I didn't know there were 17 games tonight. I get so focused at camp on what I'm doing. I wasn't aware of Missouri playing tonight until, just a couple of days ago. And then, Minnesota, I'm obviously going to try to tune in and watch some of that as well. So, it's going to be a super fun weekend because you're going to get your fill of sitting in front of the tube and watching some good football.
Tom's like an SEC ball coach, Tom. He's just locked in. Cal always talks to you. Cal always makes a joke. I don't even know who we're playing next. We know you're playing next, but Tom's locked in on this week.
One game at a time, Tom. Just one game at a time.
That's absolutely the case.
Okay. Well, Tom, outside of football, basketball-wise, as we let you go, Michigan State officially on the schedule, November 8th, really kicks off college basketball Saturday. Your thoughts on this official announcement? And then Tom Izzo, Hall of Famer, and Sparty come back next year, Bud Walton.
That's an amazing deal. Two, just classic big-time Hall of Fame coaches in Izzo and Cal hooking it up there in East Lansing this year. And Michigan State leads the series 2-0, so it's time for the Razorbacks to get back on them a little bit. But really, I did not realize Cal had like almost 100 more wins, or maybe right around 100 more wins than Izzo. But when you look at Izzo, he looks older. So to Cal's credit, he's aged better than Izzo has.
All right, we'll see if Cal can get a 4-2 race. 3-2 against him right now. 1-0 in the NCAA tournament. We'll see if that moves to 4-2 as of early November. Tom, good stuff as always, man. I know you're locked in for this game on Saturday. We appreciate the time. We'll chat about it next week.
Let's all be locked in. See y'all.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, HOGS, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to mybookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Got a little jingle